Welcome to my Primary Languages CPD series Part 8, the Programme of Study, Culture and Intercultural Understanding. My name is Claire Seckham and I'm a languages teacher and an independent consultant. You can read more about what I have to say about primary languages on my blog, and you can see its URL here. Any resources that I show you come from my website, which is called Lightbulb Languages. So our big question is, what do we mean by culture and intercultural understanding? Firstly, culture. This is the definition from the Oxford English Dictionary. The arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement include the stories, songs, poems and rhymes that are mentioned in the Key Stage 2 programme of study. The customs and civilizations are important to us as language teachers and learners, and it can be argued that languages themselves are one of the most important cultural achievements of their peoples. Language is a cultural artifact, an essential component of the cultural heritage of a country, a region or a group of people, the means via which the customs and civilization are passed down and shared. The Mondley blog from Pearson expresses it thus: language changes along with the traditions, folklore and societal organisation of the community where it is spoken. Words represent not only their literal meanings but also the context, feelings of the speaker and the social rules that one can only understand as part of a certain cultural background. So language and culture are inextricably linked. By learning a language, we understand more about the history, values and beliefs of the people in the countries in which it is spoken. By learning about aspects of the culture, we come to understand more about why the language is like it is. As well as culture, in terms of the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement, and also the customs, civilization and achievements of a particular time or people, we often talk about intercultural understanding as being fundamental to language teaching and learning. This is an explanation of what intercultural understanding is from Part 1 of the now obsolete but still useful Key Stage 2 Framework for Languages, which was published in 2005. It says, language competence and intercultural understanding are an essential part of being a citizen. Children develop a greater understanding of their own lives in the context of exploring the lives of others. They learn to look at things from another's perspective, giving them insight into the people, culture and traditions of other cultures. Children become more aware of the similarities and differences between peoples, their daily lives, beliefs and values. Intercultural understanding addresses and disproves the stereotypical views that Britons sometimes have about people in other countries and cultures. It proves that our way is not necessarily the only way or the best way, and allows students to access the rich and vibrant cultures of the target language country or countries through their language studies. We encourage children to look beyond the stereotypes, to learn to respect and value other cultures. They should know that different does not equate to wrong, bad or silly. Our culture is not the centre of the universe, it is not the most important, and we should be learning about others. Once children have developed a knowledge and awareness of another culture, it will cause them to reflect on their own in comparison. Intercultural understanding is often referred to as the fifth skill of language learning alongside listening, speaking, reading and writing. This stresses that it is of equal importance in successful language learning. Indeed, the aforementioned Key Stage 2 Framework for Languages places intercultural understanding as an equal strand alongside oracy and literacy. Another big question is, what does the programme of study say about culture and intercultural understanding? This is the programme of study for Key Stage 2 Foreign Languages, and it dates from September 2013. It's this version of the curriculum that will be discussed here. We will see a revised curriculum in 2027 as a result of the Curriculum and Assessment Review, which was published in November 2025. At first glance, it appears that there is little to no mention of culture and intercultural understanding, but it becomes clear that it should be central to all that we do. The purpose of study, and indeed the whole document, opens with this statement: Learning a foreign language is a liberation from insularity and provides an opening to other cultures. This is front and centre of the programme of study and shows how language learning and learning about other cultures are inextricably linked. It continues by saying, a high-quality languages education should foster pupils' curiosity and deepen their understanding of the world. This refers to intercultural understanding and how it enables children to investigate and to develop an understanding of other cultures, which will, in turn, enable them to reflect on their own life and culture and to help them to understand their world more deeply. There is one more reference in the purpose of study, where it says that language learning should equip pupils to study and work in other countries. I would argue that we could add travel and live in other countries to this. In the aims of the programme of study, we see, and I've discussed also in the 2 previous parts of this series, the authentic sources for listening and reading. These authentic sources will come from the countries where the language is spoken, and as well as offering authentic use of the language in question, will also often show something about the culture of the country. One of the attainment targets mentions children developing an appreciation of stories, songs, poems and rhymes in the language, many of which will have an intercultural component. They comprise examples of arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement, the definition of culture that we saw earlier. Another big question is, how can we include culture in our lessons? Well, there are 2 ways of embedding culture and intercultural understanding into our schemes of work and our lessons. We can use examples from the countries where the language is spoken in our lesson resources, such as weather in the different countries, information about towns and cities, or foods and drinks from the different countries. We can also celebrate special days and festivals from the target language countries, such as La Fête Nationale and Le 11 Novembre in France, or Reyes and San Jose in Spain. We will delve further into primary languages in the next videos.